Howdy folks, I'm Grotto Goblin of the Goblin's Grotto, and welcome to a Kickstarter news video for the Forged Kickstarter, coming to us from Broken Anvil Miniatures. Now, you may be familiar with Broken Anvil Miniatures, or BAM, from their STL lines of 3D printable files designed for tabletop role-playing games. Well, not all of us have 3D printers, so some of us have not been able to make use of their services before. This Kickstarter is going to change all that because, in addition to some STL offerings, this Kickstarter is focusing on physical models made in PVC. That's strong, sturdy stuff. And Broken Anvil has been selling some physical models before, but never at these price points. And to that point, if getting great deals on high quality, high detailed tabletop miniatures is something that you're a fan of, well, I suggest you keep watching because there's plenty to see and lots to discuss. Before we get too deep into this though, if you want to support what I'm doing here, there's some links on the screen and even a really fancy QR code where you can follow and support my work. And of course, liking, subscribing, and commenting below goes a long way. I suppose with any Kickstarter, the best place to start is with the lowest buy-in, which in this case is $10. That'll get you the Forged a la carte option, which will allow you to add stuff later on in the backer kit, which will be the pledge manager for this campaign. Now, you'll miss out on some stuff, and this won't get you everything, but at least this will get your foot in the door, and if you're strapped for cash, it can be a big help. If you can go in for a bit more, there's plenty to unlock, but let's start out small, taking a look at the Heroes box. Now, the Heroes box is another very entry-level thing to pledge for. It's kind of more of an add-on than its own thing. You won't get any further unlocks at this pledge if this is all you're pledging for, but again, it will get your foot in the door and then you can add in stuff later if you just can't swing the other sets right now, or maybe this is all you want. And hey, this is a really awesome set of player character, NPC, and other key encounter miniatures. Personal favorites for me have to be the Tuatar, or the Turtlefolk Bard, the Centaur because we just don't have enough of them, and that one fighter knight character with that little Mandalorian flare going on the helmet. The next pledge tier up, going from $40 to $50, is the Adventure STL bundle. This is the option for you 3D printers out there. And this is apparently a Kickstarter exclusive offer, and if the retail prices are to be believed, you're paying $50 for what would normally cost $120, so that's a crazy deal. If you're interested in 3D printing, this is definitely something to make note of. Also, you will get some unlocks with this one as the campaign grows, but they will just be STLs and you won't get everything, like the terrain stuff. You're not going to get that. Stepping a tier up, answering the Heroes box, we have the Encounters box, giving those characters something to fight. With the exception of two larger figures, being a Minotaur and a Lich, this set mainly features groups of regularly encountered foes like gnolls, orcs, and troglodytes, whilst also featuring a few uncommon groups like wraiths and slimes. Each group is comprised of two sets of 3 unique models, which means you can test different paint schemes on the same model. Some of these might get more use than others, but each are all really great. Like, for instance, the slimes, I can't see myself using them a lot, but when I do, oh boy, will I have some great slime models to throw at my players. Now, it's the next tier up where we get into what is essentially the core set of the campaign, the Adventure box. Now, this is going to include both the Heroes box, the Encounters box, and one dragon, all at an exclusive Kickstarter price. Plus, with this tier, you're going to start getting the Forge Master Vault unlocks. I'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's talk about that dragon. And here it is in painted glory, Erigard, the Ice Dragon. Note that the version you receive will be unpainted. It is at this tier that we start getting this excellently done dragon bundled into our pledges. Now you can technically get it added in the STL tier, but good luck printing that. I hope you have lots of resin and time on your hands. At any rate, it's a wonderful piece and a great sweetener for pledging at this tier. But it's not the only sweetener at this tier. Because at this point, you're going to start getting the unlocked stretch goals of the campaign, the Forge Master's Vault, as it's being called by BAM. And there's some really killer minis in here, and the set's just continuing to grow. If you're familiar with the Bones Kickstarters, which I've covered on this channel, then this setup will be very familiar to you. It's a very similar model. And just to take a look at some of the things that have been unlocked so far, it's just really great stuff. There's all sorts of genres and settings that you can make up with these different minis, and I'm just really impressed by the quality on display here. It's all a very similar art style, so it's very cohesive, but really just great variety all around. So yeah, I would already say that the adventure box is a pretty great deal, but now with the Forge Master's Vault, all the unlocks, the stretch goals that come with it, then I think it's an excellent deal. And this is definitely the core set to me as far as this campaign is concerned. But of course, there is one final tier, the more or less all-in tier. This is the Forge Masters Bundle. It has everything we've shown so far. That's the Vault, the Heroes, the Encounters, plus 2 books to go along with all of these minis, 7 dragons, big dragons, and a terrain bundle, all for what they are stating an exclusive Kickstarter intro price, which is a pretty good deal in my opinion comparing to the other Kickstarters similar to this. As I just said, there are some new offerings at this tier. First and foremost, I would say, are the 2 books that come with it. These lend context to all these minis, providing lore and 5e compatible stat blocks, which is a great boon for any DMs out there, including myself. Now, if you don't want to splurge for the whole 360, you can pick these up for $12 and $25 respectively as their own add-ons, but in this bundle, they're just included. And here is the also included terrain bundle, which you can also pick up on its own. Maybe you want duplicates, you can pick up a second, a third, a fourth. I don't know how many you can pick up. They never said. Regardless, it has a ton of really cool, often really unique scatter terrain items that go well with a lot of the minis in this campaign. And to sweeten the pot even more, each of these little mini sets in the bundle will be purchasable on their own in the backer kit pledge manager. So if you really want more totems, you can get more totems. But wait, there's more, because at this tier you also get the Dragon Bundle, which you can also pick up individually, which includes 7 100mm base dragons, all with really cool, really unique designs. Now, admittedly, right now, at the time that I'm recording this, there's only 1 sculpt visible, but if this concept art is anything like the final product, I mean, these are some of the best dragons I've seen available in Kickstarters. And that $35 at retail estimate that they give is actually probably under a lot of the gargantuan and large, huge size models I've seen out and about. So yeah, it's a pretty good deal to get them at $25 each if you want to pick them up individually as well. Oh, and lest we forget, Aragard is also still in this campaign, so that's 8 big dragons that you can pick up in this campaign, individually, in bundles, or in this tier. So that's the Forge Masters bundle. It's a lot, but it's still not everything. There are a few more add-ons and expansions to throw in for. Of course, there are the add-ons I already mentioned, but you can also pick up individual minis from the Heroes set. You can pick up 3-piece squads from the Encounters set, plus the large minis that came with the Encounter set you can pick up on their own, and you can get your own Aragard on its own for $25. But all of those minis are included in the previous bundles. These next ones are not. They're in expansions. They're their own separate thing. And the first expansion we're going to take a look at is the Mousefolk Militia set, which is a $35 Kickstarter expansion set. Now this is reminiscent of the Hero box set, though in this case all the characters are Mousefolk. Now these are perfect for your animal people settings, your Humblewoods and so forth. They're just really, really cool, really unique characters that fit a lot of classes and roles in this expansion. And then on a completely different thematic angle, we have the Demon expansion, which is a collection of terrain pieces and a handful of big demon models with, a few hellhounds thrown in for fun too. Really awesome looking minis in this set. Price could be a little more economical, but those minis are pretty detailed and pretty big, so it is what it is. I understand. And finally, for now, we have an orc themed expansion, which is ever growing and unlocking at various tiers. For the most part, it seems like this is a mainly terrain focused set with some orcs thrown in. Not to say that it's not balanced, but it is. There's a significant amount of terrain in this set, is what I'm trying to say. That said, the terrain really does complement all the orcs well, and these all look pretty good. I really hope they all get unlocked. If you're familiar with the Reaper Bones Kickstarters, then you're probably really familiar with this system of unlocking expansions. And with that, you're pretty much caught up. Okay, slight update. Actually, huge update. Literally as I was processing the video, they updated the campaign. Look at this. There's the Frockin' Army set. A bunch of frogs. It's a bunch of frogs. Frog Army Rise Up. Amazing. The Dark Dwarven Raiders set. We have, I guess these are supposed to be Duragar, or, I don't know, just really angry dwarves. They don't have to be Duragar. What is that? That is awesome looking. What a character. This guy looks like he fits into Warhammer pretty well. Giant spiders. Yes. Giant spider cavalry. Amazing. The Funganite Gluster set. That is a mouthful. Okay, $40. Are they all $40? No, this one's $55. It's because of the spiders, I bet. 50 millimeter. That thing's pretty big. Wow. This is. Look at these little guys. They're so gross and cute. Oh man. And they just dropped this on me. And then another terrain set, Dungeon Delvers terrain set. Wow, this is some pretty cool stuff. Oh wow. Okay. Wow. Some of this stuff doesn't really seem like it is all tied together, but other bits of this are like really, really cool. Okay, and did we get any unlocked on the Orc encampment? Not yet, but wow. Okay. What an update. All right. I'll throw it back to past self, who hasn't seen all this stuff yet and is not freaking out, and also now has to edit this into the video that they had just finished. All right, I'll see y'all later. But the time that I'm recording this, there's 7 days left. So it's really more like 6, maybe 6.5. By the time you're seeing this, it'll be 6, maybe 5 days. There's still a lot left to unlock, and these Kickstarters really ramp up in the final days. So their roadmap may indeed fill out by the time it's done. And there are social unlocks as well, like this rad pack we picked up, just from sharing on Facebook and Twitter and so forth. And this little halfling guy, he's the next share unlock, so I'm going to include a link in the description, and of course there's one on the Kickstarter, so share that around if you're interested in getting them in the campaign. Speaking of socials, I will be uploading this on Friday, December the 9th, and on the same day, there will be a live stream hosted by BAM. There's some links there. I'm going to put a link to this post in the description, so check that out if you have the time. But yeah, this is one of the more promising Kickstarters that I've seen come across my radar in the past few years. So I highly recommend you go check it out. And if you are interested, let them know Grotto Goblin sent you. I'm not sponsored by these folks, so it's not going to do anything for me in that regard. But, it's nice to see. And yeah, I appreciate knowing that I help somebody become aware of this campaign. And while you're checking out the campaign, deciding whether or not to pledge, deciding what to pledge, just keep in mind shipping, so like VAT, things like that, the taxes that you're going to be paying, that's not included in the pledge price. You can add on what you estimate now or save that for the backer kit later. But right now, that's not included in these prices that you've been seeing throughout the video. Alrighty, well, that's all the news of this campaign that I have today. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. And, as always, I've been the Grotto Goblin, you've been you, and thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, you can support me through the links on the screen or by simply liking, subscribing, and commenting below. It really does mean a lot to see your support, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I read every comment. It means a lot to see that kind of support on these videos. So with nothing further to say, hope you all have a great day. Take care, stay safe, and if you got 'em, let's go paint some minis.